Well, happy New Year, everyone. Karma Collector here. This year is going to be a wild year in a lot of ways, man. And let's get it off to a great start. We got to stay on Gypsy Rose Blanchard's neck, man. All right, they're using Bri as a distraction. She went on there on a meth fueled live for New Year last night at 4 a.m. or some shit. Acting crazy, over the top, just rambling on. That was on purpose, guys. I'm not saying she wasn't high as shit. She's got a problem and needs help. I'm not saying that. But she was to go on there to go over the top and act like a crazy fool. A lot of that was acting, guys, talking in circles and doing all that. Go listen to it. She's taking over Gypsy's fucking account again, right over there, and that's what she's doing. You guys, it's to keep the attention. Look at Bri's acting crazy. Of course, that meth is her. We're supposed to all be talking and make videos about it, guys. That's why she's doing it. All right, the meth wasn't mine, and then go on and make a video acting like a complete fucking idiot on a live where you're acting like you're in a meth fueled, fucking tizzy here. Duh. So we can all talk about it, like I'm doing right now. So I don't really want to mention her much, but that's what's going on with that. We got to stay on everyone's ass. We have to watch how this case goes. We have to watch how it creeps through the court system because she hasn't even been formally charged by the state yet. Okay. I found out by one of the viewers how they do it there in Louisiana. And that's just a $2,000 bond for the drug part. The other part was for the other shit. Or $2,600 was for that, or $2,500, something like that. And the other was for the other ones, right? Just misdemeanors. No big deal. Well, the way I'm reading it, I got to look into it though. The charging for that doesn't come. They test it, send it to the lab, and they do all that shit before the state even does anything. All right, little different than what I'm used to, but it looks to me like they do it sort of like an open count of murder, like it's just a sort of like an open count of a drug charge, sort of thing, and that's why it was only $2,500. Because guys, getting caught with damn near an ounce, if it's true that it's 25 grams, getting caught with damn near an ounce, you would get a higher bond than that. I know you would. And second, because she has a prior from 2017, I believe, of a meth charge. So that would make sense, though. If she got the low couple $100 bond for the little things, and then just a $2,000, $2,500 or $2,600, whatever it was, flat kind of thing, we know you had some in the system out, but it's an open. It's like it's open, which means, guys, the state has like a long time. I think up to 5 years to charge her, I believe, and to formally charge her. Now at that point, then they're going to charge her with what they think they can get if it were to go to jury. That's how you got to look at it. Like, well, if this were to go to a jury, and I had to put it in front of jurors, what's the best? What's the best I could possibly get? Or don't even bother, right? Unless you're a scumbag prosecutor and you just want to scare them up and get them into a plea agreement, so you'll come at them at first with some shit that's real bullshit that would never stick to a jury. But if people don't know better, they'll be scared and take it. And if you've got an asshole public defender that doesn't care and that's working in tandem with the state, they'll stand there and act stupid. Yeah, that's a good deal. Go ahead, take that. I've seen it all in action, guys. Okay? The American legal justice system is actually just a bunch of bullshit. But anyway, so what could happen then is that what they're going to, I guess they send it to the lab and do all that shit, and then they're going to come charge her. Where I come from, the police weigh it in the field, it goes into evidence, and then, they charge them off the weight initially. But then when the state gets it, they'll amend them. They'll either go with what the cop says, or they'll go amend it down, or they'll amend it up. Right? So it looks like it does a little different in Louisiana. It's sort of like, it's like an open possession count charge of meth. And probably the lowest bond you can get on, an amount is probably that $2,600 or whatever. I'm not sure, but that's the way I read it. And, but that means later if it's not about, if the big club's involved, it's going to just never be filed, is what I think is going to happen. That this is a big distraction. Guys, I even think it's that crazy. This is just an actual distraction. And if she's in the big club, like I know she is, guys, this should prove it to you. I'm just saying If these charges never get filed on her at all, then you know what time it is. You don't just get caught with 25 grams of dope in your car and they just don't file anything on you. No. Unless you're in that big club we ain't in. All right. But what's supposed to happen then, with the way I understand it, is once the state gets it and gets the proper weight and makes sure it's tested and is indeed crystal methamphetamine and blah, 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 then they're going to amend the charges and they're going to be amended up from that. That's just, she just got a possession of less than 28. I don't, sounds to me like they can do a possession with intent to distribute, or they can do something, I don't know. But that seems like a low bond to me. And it's close to trafficking amount. So we'll see if they actually charge her, and then we see that she has to pay a higher bond or something. Although they might not do that, but they may, they can. All right, so enough of her. She's a distraction. But yeah, the court case with her hasn't really begun at all yet. That other court date that's coming, that's going to be to handle. I bet you if we look, see, there's a difference between the county court or municipal or however they call it, and then there's this where the felonies go is the circuit court is where the felonies go. Some places might call it district court or some other thing, but they're separate. They're not going to do her felony meth in the same judge and shit as those two, unless she were to on the first day take a plea agreement to all of it, right? Then the felony judge it would have to be, though. So if she's going to a state court or county court rather for misdemeanors is county, felonies are state. If she's going to misdemeanor county court to handle the tag and the headlight deal, then that'll probably just get squashed that day and she'll get done with a fine or something, right? But that judge there, even if she wanted to, she can't say, well, I want to plead to the felony fucking meth. No, I can't do that. Now, the opposite, though, is true. That if it was felony court first, which it's not, it's going to be misdemeanors. I got to look into this to see if it's county court. If it is, they're just going to handle misdemeanors. But the other way they could do it, if she were to go to which she would never go to felony court first, but if she were to go to felony court first and have those two misdemeanors, the judge can take a plea agreement for all of it. They just pronounce in the sentence that they are what's the word? They just say that they're transferring those two misdemeanor charges to the county or whatever, but it still goes on your sentence. But you can't do it the other way. A county judge can't do it with felony ones, right? Okay. But I think she's going to go to court first because it's too much quick of a court day too. Although that's a small area, maybe not. I think she's just going to go handle the misdemeanors that day. She's not even charged yet, is she? Right? We have to keep on it. We'll know. All right, enough of that. I'm going to have linked in here a couple videos, couple of them. We got to have a little Happy New Year fun, guys. First of all, I have an exclusive video of Big Shena and Bri with the Distractions in a video fighting over Gypsy Lee. Oop, Freudian slip. I almost said Gypsy Rose Lee. Gypsy Rose Blanchard. Linked in the description, guys. Check it out. Check out this video. They're actually fighting, physically tussling over Gypsy Rose. And watch the whole video because even Ken shows up in the very end. Okay, watch that one. I also have another video by True Crime Design. She just did a little short. I'm assuming it's a she. She knows all this shit with the big club and the Luciferians and the secret societies and the Jesuits and the Freemasons and this Column. She knows about all that shit. And she knows they're running the world too. And she makes lots of videos about that kind of thing. She's calling out Candace Owen for being the controlled opposition piece of shit that she is. Okay, pretending she's this big Christian and all. But anyway, so I have a video for a little short link from her where I just want to show you Gypsy Rose is talking to Nicholas Godejohn about the Illuminati Well, I heard of, I guess I believe it's real, but I don't really know nothing about it. I just know it has something to do with the celebrities and Hollywood and the government and secret societies. But, no, never heard of it. Don't know what you're talking about. Are you fucking serious? And then she also says something about, I don't even know who the Freemasons are. Come on, you guys. The Freemasons are the biggest, probably the biggest, and the biggest backbone of the whole thing is the Freemasons. And she says, I don't even know who the Freemasons are. Bullshit. Her mother was a sacrifice, like I said from the very start, guys. All right? So please watch these videos so you can see the clowns actually physically fighting over Gypsy Rose Blanchard. And then watch the little short by True Crime Design. You know, I've been saying this from the start, guys. And I also want to mention, man, it's the new year, and we got to stay on our ass. The best thing we can do, man, is we got to prove to the world that she doesn't have a baby. It's easy. We just have to get some big, huge content creators or someone famous or something to go to the courthouse, to just go do it and put it out there and tell everyone, this bitch never had a baby. And then it will all come tumbling down, and so will a lifetime. Okay? I also want to say this, guys. There's so many of these content creators that I love, and I'm not going to name any of them. And they say their videos after video after video. Why did she get away with this? Why? Boy, Greene County really fumbled this case. How could they not see this? They had all these videos and all this. How come it went this way? How come the hitman's in prison forever and the principal, the one that hired someone to kill their own mother, got the plea agreement? How come she got away with everything on parole? How come she's allowed to do all this? How come this, that, and the other? How come the minute she got out of prison, she got a book deal and a TV show and documentaries all just handed to her? And you guys all ask it, and I love you guys to death, but it's so aggravating. All the roads lead back to one thing. The thing I came out and said the very first day I came on. The very first day I came on TikTok in April, I said her mother was a sacrifice, and that's the only reason this dumb bitch is known by anybody or has anything going on at all. You guys, if she hadn't been in the club, if she hadn't have had her sacrifice as her mother, they wouldn't have made those documentaries and all those things about her. You guys, they want you to believe. Well, she got out of prison. The reason why there was so much interest and she did them was because we learned about what happened with her mother and abusing her and all that. That's because they made it up. The whole thing. This is what these evil people do, man. She cut a deal, man. She drank of the cup of the blood of the sacrifice. I don't know how many times I have to tell you. And everything I'm telling you points to that. And it's coming out more and more. She's sitting there telling you she's fucking in the club, man. Look at the short by True Crime Design. Okay? Just like the crime scene. Fits what I'm telling you. Doesn't fit what they're saying. They slit her throat and drained enough blood for her to drink, and they took the rest of the blood with them. Blood is very important for everything they do. They took her blood with them. You didn't find it anywhere, did you? Well, how did she end up in the bed like that? With 13 stabs, Nick only did 4. Did Gypsy overpower her mother by herself? And just put her in her bed like that? Because that's how Nick found her? Of course not. 3 grown men moved her with the sheet, like I've been saying. Okay? When they found the body, it's peach-colored still with some red splotching. If she would have bled internally like the autopsy that's a lie says, there would be something called postmortem lividity. Her body would have been black and blue, head to toe, from the blood trying. Because if you bleed internally, which they want you to believe, which is a lie, that is not what happened, then your blood bleeds into a cavity somewhere. And then eventually, it has to seep out into the tissue to try to get out somewhere. All right? It's called seepage and all this shit. All right? That's what we would have saw. It's because they drained her blood. Why do you think they drain your blood and put fluids and formaldehyde and shit in for a burial? So you don't look all discolored. That was 4 days post-mortem, that body we saw, with no black and blue on her anywhere. You guys, what I say fits. They slit her throat from ear to ear. That's why there's no blood. That's why there's no blood in the room. They did her in the kitchen. And those men moved her in there. Please. Please. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Happy New Year, guys. I'm going to stay on this bitch's neck now, man. It is on and popping in 26.